Hello again. This is a supplemental to CIRC04 B Attempt. This is mostly just for my records to kind of get, because I was kind of just fooling around with my breadboard and discovered something interesting. So, in most of the assignments, you've noticed that we have a header pin placed at each of the four corners. Those, as far as I can tell, don't really seem to do all that much. The idea, I think, was just to kind of like pin a piece of paper layout to the actual board that you could just literally lay components on top of. But something that we do need to do is provide power to these two channels. Since we only have the power going in one column over here, we need to get power over to this section as well. How we can do that is instead of using the header pins, we can place a cord connecting negative to negative and positive to positive, and that gives both of these corridors power. So I'm currently still using the same program as an attempt B, but all I did was move the potentiometer over here so we can get rid of those two bridges that you saw in the other video, and we still get the same effect of moving it kind of one-to-one, but we're now connected over here. The other thing that I found that was kind of interesting about, at least about this potentiometer, I don't know if this is true about all potentiometers, is if I were to swap those two green cords, so that cord instead of going into the positive channel is going to the negative channel, and that cord instead of it going to the negative into the positive, that reverses the flow of current going across the potentiometer, and you can actually make it so it's doing the exact inverse of what the servo is. So right now I have it so if you twist to the right, the servo turns right, and if you twist to the left, the servo turns left. If you were to swap the polarity of those two pins, or those two wires, from positive to negative and from negative to positive, it would actually go into the opposite direction. So if you twisted right, the servo would go left, and if you twisted it left, the servo would go right. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I'll continue to use the header pins just to make it as true to life to the actual or to the actual boards that were given, or to schematic wise, because you can see they often include the header pins with each diagram, and I'll continue to do that for at least the C and B attempts, so they're as, direct one-to-one as possible. But I just kind of wanted to explain that and have a video record in case I forget it in the future. So there you go, attempt B supplemental.